morning, everybody. Welcome back. My sincerest apologies for the absence of the last couple days. Unfortunately, got a bit of a stomach flu bug. Kind of knocked me out of commission for about 48 hours. Won't go into too much detail, but let's just say nothing stayed down. And in traditional fashion, I had to share things with my wife, so now she is out of commission. So, that's the way it goes. But hey, Grandpa's back, baby. And what more can I have to say about the beauty that has transpired in the time I was away? Elon Musk officially has bought Twitter. You may not think this is a big deal, but it is a huge deal. The ramifications of this are going to be monstrous. And the meltdown the left is having is beautiful. beautiful. It really says a lot about their state of mind that once they no longer have absolute control of all forms of communication, they just lose it. And the crazy thing is, Elon hasn't even done anything yet. He literally has just been an advocate for free speech, made an agreement, signed some paperwork. He hasn't done anything else, and yet they're losing their minds. We'll go into it in a little more detail first. Since Monica isn't here right now, I'm going to go ahead and say, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, share, do the routine. You know it by now. We all do. Look at those beautiful glasses. I made that. I love it. Let's get into it, shall we? So, breaking, it's official. Elon Musk officially buys Twitter. $44 billion. I love this. Musk released a statement saying, quote, "Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans." Elon, it's not often I clap for billionaires, but it's nice to have. I'm not going to say that there's one on our side because we don't officially know that yet. However, Elon calls it like it is, and I love that about him. And look at that. What is wrong about that statement? What would cause people to go into a meltdown about a statement advocating for free speech? Well, if you're one of the authoritarian left who hate the concept of the other side getting to put in their 2 cents, I could understand you losing your mind over this. And of course, in traditional libtard fashion, they have. First and foremost, from Breitbart, this is going to get saucy. We're going to focus on Elon Musk entirely for this video because this whole thing really plays into a lot of what's been going on the last couple of years, ever since basically Trump won in 2016. Essentially starting in 2015, they have had an iron grip on social media and the free flow of information. You can't allow everybody's skeletons to be exposed. You have to suppress the Joe Hunter Biden story in the election of 2020, costing Trump the election. There have been nefarious things happening behind the scenes, and Elon's got the right idea. All you have to do is shine a light on these people, and they scatter like the roaches they are. Twitter locks down changes to platform to prevent employee sabotage after the Musk buyout. This is nuts. Twitter has reportedly locked down changes to its platform through Friday following the acceptance of a $44 billion bid from Tesla CEO Elon Musk, preventing employees from easily making unauthorized changes or otherwise sabotaging the platform. Isn't that insane? They literally have to lock it down because these people are so scared of what the light will expose, they're willing to sabotage it all, burn it all down, delete, cover up the evidence. As we'll see, they're kind of already doing it. Insane. Look at this group. Oh, how progressive, how strong. Look how diverse that. Oh, well, I guess there's a little bit of diversity. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Sources say that Twitter will not allow product updates unless they're absolutely business critical. Product changes will also now require approval from a vice president. One source noted that the temporary ban was enacted in an effort to keep employees angered by the deal with Musk from, quote, going rogue. The irony of this entire situation is that it was a Twitter employee, quote, going rogue and suspending the Babylon Bee that apparently started all this. Elon Musk was a huge fan of the Babylon Bee, and when he saw that they were suspended for essentially parody, because that's all they do, he said, you know what? I think it's time to intervene. I'm going to straight up buy the company. Now, it's a bit more complicated than that. Basically, there's a I can never pronounce this word. Monica's not here to help me. There's a report due. I'm not even going to try to do it. It's basically a financial report. Not judiciary. Dang it, I can never remember the word. It's something along those lines. Anyways, a financial report is due Thursday to show Twitter's profits and to show what they've been up to. And if they did not accept the $54.20 per share deal that Musk offered them, things were going to look bad. And then at that point, they would actually be held liable by their shareholders for not taking it when their true profits came out, which are, of course, extraordinarily down. I mean, we covered this, I believe, a week ago, but originally they were advised to sell, that their selling point was $30 a share. So $54.20, obviously a huge and awesome good deal, which really begged the question, why are they hesitating? Well, this says a lot about it right here. The crazy thing is, it says Twitter has previously instituted code freezes ahead of key events such as the Super Bowl in an effort to ensure continuity across the platform and prevent unexpected bugs and mistakes. Following Musk's purchase of Twitter, several key conservatives have returned to the platform. Again, we have almost an Enron type situation here where it appears that now that the deal is done, Musk is coming in, they are desperately trying to reverse all the insanity that's been going on behind the scenes. Whether or not you're aware of it, which I'm sure you are, they have been completely throttling anyone, even the remotely right of crazy far left. They will ban, they will shadow ban, they will suppress your follower count. They will do anything in their power to keep your voice from getting out if you do not subscribe to the message, we'll call it, whatever it may be. If you're not a part of their new liberal world order, you're out. Well, the times they are a-changing, my friends. Crazy enough, Fox News host Tucker Carlson was also suspended from the platform for endorsing the Babylon Bee's tweet, and another from Turning Point USA's Charlie Kirk, in which he stated that Rachel Rich Levine, who's a man, or at least he was for the first 50-something years of his life until now he's a stunning and brave woman, had lived, quote, 54 years, 54 right there, of his life as a man. Carlson pointed out both screenshots of both tweets, stating, but wait, both of these tweets are true, which, of course, they called Rachel Levine Woman of the Year, and the Babylon Bee came out and said, oh, well then, Rachel Levine can also be the Man of the Year. Because, I mean, you have to be strong, stunning, and brave to take a title from an actual woman, even though you are a man. So that, of course, got them banned. Tucker Carlson then got banned. I'm pretty sure Charlie Kirk also got banned. Oh, excuse me, suspended. I keep saying banned. Suspended, which is a very soft ban. However, Carlson has since returned to the platform, simply stating, we're back. Fox News host Mark Levin, who voluntarily left Twitter, also announced his return to the platform. Thanks to new ownership, I've decided to come back. It's happening all over. It is happening all over. They are, I mean, like I said, with him moving in, left liberal personalities have noticed that for whatever reason, their subscriber counts are dropping, and not by a little. We're talking thousands of subscriber counts dropping, and suddenly, as we'll talk about here in this next article, right-wingers see that their subscriber counts are jumping up, which shows there is something going on in the background. They are desperately trying to cover up and hide everything that they've been up to this entire time, to the point where now that they're essentially burning down, like this article says, burning the evidence before the new boss starts, it's showing, because all of a sudden everybody is noticing these strange differences. I mean, it is insane to think how much censorship and how much craziness was going on behind the scenes, all in the name of stifling truth, all in the name of stifling those you do not agree with. And the meltdown really shows how desperate they were to cling on to this. We'll go into more detail in a second. It's pretty crazy when you think about it, though. Don Jr. and right-wingers see giant leaps in their Twitter followers after Musk bid was accepted, as Obama and left-wingers also lose huge numbers amid speculation the algorithm has been changed. Right-wing figures, such as Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis and Don Jr., have seen the number of followers soar. Left-leaning figures like AOC and old Barry Obama, what was his name? Barry Sorieto, I believe his name was originally, have witnessed a noticeable drop in followers. The fluctuations have been dramatic since Monday, when Elon's $44 billion takeover was confirmed. Twitter on Tuesday confirmed that the figures were organic and were not due to any internal alterations to their operations. Right. Sure. It just randomly happens that once this deal is signed, all the right-wingers' subscribers and likes and influence jumps up, and all the left-wingers drops. Interesting. It's almost like cleaning up the algorithm has removed a lot of fake influence on both sides, both positive and negative. I mean, we know a lot about Twitter, and it is essentially a bot farm, which is one of the things Elon Musk wanted to change. If you could verify everybody as human, you'd eliminate all the bots. It is incredibly easy right now to go out there, and it's really cheap too, like 100 to 150 bucks. You can get people to, you can buy followers, you can buy likes, you can buy influence. There have been pictures out of China where it's literally a person standing facing a wall that is completely covered with cell phones. And literally their job is to, once they get paid, they bring up the person's Twitter and they have all these different bot accounts and they just like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Follow. Suddenly followers are up, likes are up. You can buy these things, but it's fake. And there are websites out there that do track this and say, is it fake? Is it real? Yada, yada, yada. However, following this, this is just a huge step towards everything being real. Once the curtain is removed, once the illusion has dropped, it's going to be a whole different playing field, boys and girls. Let's see. Trump Jr., however, did not believe the company and speculated that it was due to artificial restraints on right-wing figures finally being lifted. He claimed the changes were being made before Musk's team took over to avoid an embarrassing expose of their practices. Very true. Very true. I mean, what can you do? Like I said, it's an Enron situation. You have to burn all the evidence before then people come in to inspect it. Elon Musk has said he wants to make their algorithm public. He wants to restore public trust in this, and he feels it can grow. The reason it's not growing, the reason it's stagnated is they have created their own artificial bubble, their own left-wing echo chamber, because they ban everybody who doesn't fit in it. They, shadow ban or suspend anyone. My personal account has been banned for a long time. Oddly enough, I went to log in yesterday after seeing all this stuff, and super shocker, I was able to, all I had to do was authenticate, and I was back in. Huh, that's strange. Odd coincidence. What was I doing when I got banned? Oh, I don't know. Liking, sharing memes from prominent right-wing figures? Oof, hell-worthy trespass, let me tell you. Insane. I mean, it goes into the detail here about how crazy this is. Like, Don Jr.'s account had grown by 5,000 and 10,000 tweets a day in recent weeks, with a spike in the wake of Musk's announcement immediately obvious. DeSantis also saw a huge 141,566 people on Tuesday, according to the Social Blade statistics. This is a vast increase on the 5,000 or so followers the popular GOP governor generally gains in an average day. Just consider that. He usually gains around 5,000 a day, and suddenly, once some miraculous change happens, whether organic or not, 141,000 in a day. Something is off. It's blatantly obvious. You know what? I'm gonna make this a little bigger. I apologize for that if it wasn't big enough. The article before seemed like it was, but this one doesn't. Anywho, let's hear it from Don Jr. himself. While I'm awesome and totally deserving of 87,000 new followers a day, it seems that someone took the shackles off my account. Wonder if they're burning the evidence before new management comes in. Look at that. You see, it's very steady. I mean, he has his highs, he has his lows. His low looks like about 3,800. His high looks like about 9,000. Yeah. In between, oh, nope, there's a low there at 2,400. So he's got his highs and lows from 2,400 to 9,000. And then randomly, look at that. If you can see it, 87,296 organically. And you can't even see what's blocked under on Monday, but it looks like either a 5 or a 3,000, probably 5,000. But still, it fits right in with that. And then all of a sudden, bam, 87,000 flood through. Coincidence? Sure. It could very well just be a coincidence. Same thing here. This is Governor DeSantis. You see, 4,000, 7,000, 5, 6, 6, 8, 5, 6, 5, 141. One of these things is not like the other, and it is safe to say equality is being restored. I mean, it is crazy that they have to go to these lengths to suppress information. These lengths to suppress those who do not agree with them. But that is the state of the authoritarian left. Unfortunately, that is the state of the uniparty. Because it's not just the left. I saw an article today about, you know what? We won't go too far into it, but the establishment is getting scared on both sides of the aisle. They are doing insane things. And you know what? I'm glad. Expose them all. We need to get rid of them all. The establishment needs to go both sides of the aisle. I mean, I could go on and on. You guys know I hate the Republican Party, or at least most of them. I hate McCarthy. I hate McConnell. I mean, Lindsey Graham. They're all garbage. They don't care about the will of the people. They don't care about their own constituents. They only care about lining their pockets and their globalist agendas, which I know. Almost cliche at this point, but holy cow, man. Holy cow. From DeSantis himself, Elon Musk's offer to buy Twitter is a good deal for shareholders and raises the prospect that the platform will be a place where free speech can thrive, not a tool for narrative enforcement. You just love to see it. Isn't this just insane just to think about that? Like, all these people coming out, like, here's I can never pronounce her name, Dana Loesch. So she says, noting an increase in followers and engagement after losing huge chunks for the past few years. Also seeing tweets from people whose accounts I never see and not having to refollow other conservatives repeatedly. There have been dirty games going on for a long time. They have had such an iron grip. And it's really, I mean, I hate to give these people credit. It's smart in the form of fifth generational warfare. Fifth dimensional warfare does sound pretty sweet. But anyways, fifth generational warfare, where it's all about the data, it's all about the noise. Fourth and fifth, I should say. It's all about the data, it's all about the narrative, and it's all about controlling people through that. I mean, they had to go for the institutions first, and they did. We're fighting them, obviously, online. We're fighting them in our schools. We're fighting them in our local boards. They are everywhere. The rot runs deep, but it can be purged, and this is a huge step. The biggest thing you can do, shine a light on it. You shine a light, and the roaches will scatter. It's too soon for Musk to have done this, but I'm wondering if something was changed by those seeking to minimize their fingerprint ahead of potential transparency. And again, once again, I mean, look at this. Even if you take someone, she's obviously not nearly as known as DeSantis or Don Jr., but you follow this. Look at this. 191, 570, 300, 300, 200, blah, 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 blah. There's an 800. That's pretty nice. And then Monday, 71. Okay, it's a little low. Tuesday, 9,309. Yeah, it's a coincidence. Totally organic. Nope. This is data warfare, and I love it that they're losing. And you may say, well, how do you know they're losing already? Look at this. There's your evidence right there. The truth cannot be suppressed forever. It will claw, it will dig, it will tear its way to the surface. And all we can do is help it. I was going to say wait, but we can't wait. We help. We start digging. We dig it. We start digging that hole. We will help it escape. Of course, they're trying to rely on their old cards here. I mean, I'm hitting Daily Mail a lot today, but that's okay. Twitter executive accuses Musk of misogyny for criticizing firm's top lawyer over her, quote, incredibly inappropriate censorship of Hunter Biden laptop story. But Elon continues attacking Twitter and points out Trump's Truth Social is beating it. This is crazy to me. I absolutely love it, that he rightfully called them out for suppressing this story and altering the 2020 election, leading to the absolute dumpster fire that we as a country find ourselves in now. Bidenflation, destroying us. Almost what I'm looking for. Supply chain, almost destroyed. I won't go into the conspiracy theory of all the food processing plants catching fire all over the country. That one's a little weird. I got to look a little more into that because, you know, something like that can look very suspicious, and when there's so many of them, it is very suspicious. But without actually knowing what the statistics are, it's kind of like the COOF. You know, if they come out and they say, oh my God, there's been 3 million deaths. I don't know if that, I believe it was 2.6 million deaths. There's been 2.6 million deaths. The COOF is destroying all civilization. But then they quietly say, well, actually, traditional influenza deaths are down to nothing. Moving on to the COOF. And you go, wait a minute, that's a big number, 2.6 million. It's a scary number. Wait a minute. What do you mean if I look at the statistics for influenza over the years leading up to the COOF, they were around average of 1.9 to, I believe, 2.8 million a year die from influenza. And then that number just drops off the face of the earth, and suddenly the COOF is responsible for this thing. You know what? We won't go into too many things there. The point is the narrative matters. And if they can change that narrative and play off the ignorance of people who don't know how these numbers are over the course of, how these statistics and numbers are over the course of a decade, it's very easy to influence them based on that. And it's kind of sad, but that's the level of warfare we are working at. Alex Jones was right to call this show InfoWars, because that's what it is. Information warfare. Anywho, back on topic. Twitter's global head of partners, Laura Cohen, on Tuesday night accused Elon Musk and his fans of misogyny after 2 female executives were criticized. Color me shocked that people are coming for 2 of our most prominent female executives on day 1 of this thing. She was referring to, and forgive me on this name, Vijaya Gadde, chief legal officer and general counsel of Twitter, who Musk on Tuesday said made an incredibly inappropriate decision. True, and I do believe I read that this chick, Vijaya Gadde, close enough, right? Actually, when she was on the phone call about Musk buying out, cried. You know what? If there is one thing I would love every single one of these individuals, every single one of these freeloading individuals to really understand and embrace, it's the private sector. If you cry about a new boss coming in, he will fire you. Yes, I know, it's a scary, scary thought. Oh my goodness, I have to be good at my job. I have to put up results at my job. Yes, that is how the world works, little buddy. So yes, if you want to, you can cry about your misogyny. You can cry about everything you want. You can get on and tell all your followers, oh, they won't let me teach all these inappropriate things to my kindergartners anymore. I'm all about shrinking the government. I'm all about making as much of it, as dangerous as it may seem. I think it would be a vast improvement to privatize a lot of things that the federal government attempts to handle, because the private sector is about results, not your emotions. Anywho, she was also referring to Leslie Berland, chief marketing officer, who on Tuesday featured in Project Veritas audio clip asking questions during a staff meeting. Musk got about it, but then of course, he also pointed out that more people on Tuesday were downloading Donald Trump's rival platform, Truth Social, than Twitter. That is true. However, it is not available on Android yet. Come on, man. We got to do away with this Apple supremacy crap. Give some love to the Android users, man. I want to download it too, but I can't because I'm an Android user. Accusing misogyny. I mean, this is nothing new from their playbook. We're all just istophobes, of course. Get out of here. Color me shocked. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. All right, here we go. So from Mike Cernovich. Twitter lawyer Jim Baker, when general counsel of the FBI, personally arranged a meeting between the FBI and Michael Sussman. In this meeting, Sussman presented a fabricated evidence in the Alpha Bank matter. Elon Musk, this is who is inside Twitter. He facilitated fraud. I mean, they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story. They called it fake news, Russian disinformation. And of course, those of us at the time who actually looked at it, and again, I'm going to say this again, if you want to look into it, you are more than welcome, but I'm not lying to you. There is sick stuff on there, and it is blatant. It's not like, oh, it could be this or that. No, I'm going to take selfies while this stuff is happening. And apparently a crackhead like Hunter Biden, that's a good idea. But my word, just there's enough shady stuff in there financially, but that's the tip of the iceberg. I on some level, I can understand why they suppress certain parts of this, because it exposed what the elites are actually doing with our money, or at least I guess we should say the children of the elites, although we know 10% for the big guy. Now there's all these stories coming out about Joe Biden and missing money, and of course we know 10% for the big guy. He's the big guy. He was in on all of Hunter Biden's deals. Hunter used his name to leverage, yada yada yada. I mean, it's all there. However, like I said, be very careful when looking into the contents of that laptop, because it ain't all financial. That is literally the tip of the iceberg, and the rest is just disgusting. That's all I will say. I don't want to go into more detail, because when I was researching it, oh my god. Back on topic, please. So Elon Musk, of course, responds, sounds pretty bad. And then he points out that Truth Social is currently beating, which I'm all about. All about. If they would just release Truth Social on Android, I would just be the happiest little camper, Insane. Of course, suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate, he wrote. So whether or not Elon Musk is quote-unquote on our side doesn't matter. He is smart enough to see that what they're doing is wrong. Suppressing information, hiding things they don't agree with, and hiding people they don't agree with, kicking them off of the platform of what is supposed to be a public square. Insanity. It really is. However, this goes deeper than just here, as we'll get into in a moment. Around the world, people are saying, we saw Saudi princes, now we're talking about the United Kingdom. They're demanding Elon Musk keep Twitter, quote, responsible by censoring content. Oh, Lord. A spokesman for the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has demanded that Elon Musk keeps Twitter, quote, responsible through content censorship. Authorities in the United Kingdom are demanding that Twitter follow the country's censorship laws. Oh, United Kingdom? You want us to follow your laws? We have a little thing called the First Amendment, and I do seem to recall, I believe it was 1776 when we kind of boldly declared, we ain't listening to you anymore, bro. We aren't. It was a pretty funny article. I had it up, but it didn't quite fit in. But there's this BBC reporter who went to a Walmart and took a picture and said something along the lines of like, I can't seem to find what I'm looking for, but I could buy a gun and rounds just like this. A rifle and rounds just as easy as this. And they took a picture of what they thought was a gun display. Yeah, they were BB guns, bro. These people are moronic. And to think that we're gonna follow anything the British say, yeah, you guys can keep your monarchy. We kicked you out of here a couple hundred years ago, and that's about the end of that. Still, though, it is interesting to see that they are coming out against this again, against being exposed, because everybody has their dirty hands in this little cookie jar. Quote, regardless of ownership, all social media platforms must be responsible. The Times reports a spokesman for Prime Minister Boris Johnson as saying regarding the purchase, that includes protecting users from harm on their sites. It is too early to say what, if any, changes will be made to how Twitter operates. Hey, newsflash. The First Amendment. Everything. All speech is free speech, and I'm so sorry for all the fifis in the room, but that includes hate speech. Hate speech, my friends, is free speech as well. And of course, here's what I really wanted to just delve into. I believe this is my last article from the Gateway Pundit. Elon Musk called Twitter's banning of New York Post reporting of Hunter Biden's laptop, quote, obviously incredibly inappropriate. It was when Twitter banned TGP as well. And I mean, the reason I'm bringing this up, even though we have already touched on it, is that it really shows what they've been up to. And it shows that, again, Elon Musk, he's a wild card. And obviously they hate him for it. The fact that he is a free speech absolutist, or at least that's what he claims to be, which I'm all about, and he's going in there and exposing this is the first step. It is a big monster pushback, and it may only be 1% of winning this war, this culture war that we find ourselves engulfed in. However, it is a huge amount. I give him 10%. I'll say 1%, 10%. Because if you, I've said it before, if you expose them, expose the corruption, they have no shields to hide behind anymore. They can lie, they can project, they can do all these things. However, at the end of the day, if you can sway the people, if you can show these individuals for who they are, that's a win. The New York Post released stories about Hunter Biden's laptop back in October 2020, several days before the election. Twitter banned the New York Post at the time for their reporting on crackhead Hunter and his illegal dealings. The information came straight from his own laptop. This was, I believe, laptop number 4 that he lost, maybe 3. Apparently, we're not the only ones who have. There's actually a quote from Hunter Biden's text that said that the Russians had one of his laptops and were using it to blackmail him. Anywho. You can research that one on your own, but again, be very careful. The information came straight from his own laptop. The Gateway Pundit's Joe Hoft also released solid reports on Hunter Biden's laptop, and his account was suspended. This is what they were doing. Not only was Joe Hoft's account suspended, but many of our readers who tweeted our stories had their accounts suspended on Twitter and Facebook. The Gateway Pundit's account was later shut down for questioning the stolen 2020 election results. Orwellian. Isn't that insane? And I mean, we can talk all day and night about the 2020 election. I'm glad that people are now being very transparent with it about what had happened. And the things coming out of Wisconsin and Arizona are very, very troubling. But even if we ignore all of the potential fraud, you cannot ignore what Twitter and social media did. They banned, they suppressed, they hid, all to get the big guy into office. Well, now he's there, and we're all paying for it. And we're all going to continue to pay for it until the truth is allowed to break free and fly, baby, fly. So, what do I got to say about this that hasn't already been said? I got to applaud Elon Musk. I love the guy. He's a wild card. Is he perfect? No. Is anyone perfect? No. But this is huge. And we got to take a win when we can, and this is a huge win. So, you know what? I'll make sure that I am, I guess I'll be back on Twitter. We'll make sure that we are back on Twitter. I'll have to wait for my social media producer to, feel a little better. But overall, this is fabulous. I almost fabtastic news. I love it. Fabtastic news I'm very happy about this, and you know what? This is just one more step in getting things back on track. So that's all for me. What are your thoughts on this? Are you happy that this kind of thing? Leave me a like, leave me a subscribe, leave me a comment. I love reading them. I love seeing them. You may respond, there ain't many of them, but that's okay. It just means I get to appreciate them. So I hope everybody has a fabulous day. I'm probably going to head over and play some Magic Arena. If that's your game, come check it out. Otherwise, we'll just see you later.